cool kids, today I have a speed paint for you, and this was not the video I originally had planned for this week. I actually had something far more ambitious in mind. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time or really the skill set to complete what I had in mind, so that's a video for another week. And since I completely ran out of time this week, I figured last minute I'd just load up MSPAINT and see what I could make with that. And this is the result. I think MSPAINT as a program gets a bad rap. Like, I understand that it is pretty hard to work with, but it's also a very soothing program, I think. And maybe this is partially because, like, I started out my digital art career as an MSPAINT artist and sort of worked my way up to different programs, but I find it a very calming program to use. There's not a lot of difficult things to worry about. So, like, when I'm having a bad week or when I just don't want to do something complicated, I'll pull up MSPAINT, and that's kind of what happened this week. I decided to draw a picture of Garnet for no real particular reason. It's Garnet in her first, fusion, which I realized that episode aired like probably a year ago, maybe less, maybe more, so this isn't the most timely piece, but I just felt like drawing Garnet. She's a fun person to draw. Here you can see I'm doing the background, and generally when I'm doing paintings like this, it's smarter to do the background first, but I didn't really think to do that, so I had to stick with a simple background this time, which I think worked out for the piece. I kind of wish I'd made the blue on the other side different. Like, I end up going back and changing it later on, but I still don't like how that blue turned out, partially because it blends in too much with her, and then when I go to lighten it up later, it's too light, but whatever. But yeah, so I did MSPAINT this week, again, partially because I ran out of time, also because last week's piece was just so exhausting. Like, I was thinking about what I could do for a last minute video this week, and I just didn't want to do anything that involved any line art or really any color blocking. I just wanted to do something simple, and so I did this. I don't usually do a lot of just straight up painting like this, but I figured I'd mix things up this time, see if it works out, and I think it worked out alright. Like, there are some places I wish I could have redone, but because of the limitations of MSPAINT, I really couldn't have. Like, I'm not a big fan of the coloring on her, which arm is it, her right sleeve, and I also, the hair in general, it ends up working out okay, but I wish I could have done it differently. You'll see that when you get to it. But yeah, I do like how this piece turned out. I didn't have a reference for Garnet, like, on the computer. I had one on my phone to look at, but I had to sort of just color match by eye, so I feel like some of her colors are a little bit off, especially the color of her skin. I think it should be a bit more of a purpley pinkish. Like, I went in with a pink highlighting to sort of add that pinkish in later, but I don't know if the base color is quite right. Sure, are these supposed to be like these little pink things? Are they decorations on her uniform? Are they holes in her uniform? When I first looked at the picture, I thought that they were like petals falling, but I don't think that's right. So I sort of did the best I could. Oh, here I'm working on the hand, and I actually really like how the hand turns out. Unfortunately, I lost about 10 minutes of footage because my computer didn't like me again this week. So you don't get to see me finishing up the left hand or right hand, the skin hand, but I really like how the hands turned out in this piece. Like, it's a very simple hand pose, but it looks like hands, and that's better than the majority of my artwork. Also, the eyebrows, I think, were something I really struggled with, because Garnet in the original image doesn't have eyebrows, but especially with her facial expression and just how she looks altogether, it would look weird if I didn't give her eyebrows, so I wasn't sure what to do. For the majority of the piece, I had them pink and blue, but I ended up going back in and changing that later to make them a little darker, just because the pink and blue didn't quite look right. Here I'm doing the hair. And the hair was just a constant struggle for me because she has this like cotton candy like hair, and I wasn't sure how to give that across. I started out by doing like very just shapes, I guess, but it didn't quite look right the way it laid, and it wasn't really hair-like. Oh, here I'm going in and doing some more highlighting just to try to bring out more of the pink tones in Garnet and to sculpt her face a little better, and then I'm still not sure what to do with the eyebrows here. But yeah, so for the hair, eventually I figured I'd just do the same thing I do when I'm drawing like wool, and I think had I done that from the get-go, it would have been a lot easier, because like Usually with that, you want to start out with like a dark color and then build up to light, but I had a very mid-tone color, and so I sort of had to work around that. But I do like how her hair turned out. It kind of reminds me of like, oh, what are those flowers called? I think they're gardenias. The ones that are like big bunches of flowers all together. Sort of has that vibe going on, which I think looks pretty. But yeah, all in all, I am happy with this piece, and it was just a fun little chillax piece. I think that's all I have to say, so I hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you next time. Bye!